What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is here to bring you guys a raw reaction to the show. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to be popping in, but at the very moment, my man Stefan is here with me. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
Yeah, so far so good. Quite a fun game.
So far, so good and a fun game. Man, listen, the game was a lot closer than people expected. If anybody out there listened to anything I ever said, I said that this is going to be a close game. I told people this is going to be a defensive battle, that it was going to probably come down to a turnover or two, and that was going to be the deciding factor. And damn it, guess what happened? Ryan Hoyer throws an interception. They get that field goal, and all of a sudden, they beat us by 3. That was pretty much the game in a nutshell, man. So I want to get your reaction, man. I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy reactions online. We need a new head coach. We need a new quarterback. Carlos Hyde is the only thing that we have alive. The offensive line still sucks. Eric Reed can't stay healthy. Give it to me, Stefan. Let me know how you feel, man. Overall synopsis of what you saw on both sides of the ball.
All right. So before the game, I thought it would be a more or less like what we've seen in the past, right? Like a 25-10 game or so. Really, that we wouldn't have much of a chance. I didn't think that our defense would play this good. I was really surprised coming off the Panthers game. But the offense, however, couldn't stay on the field. I mean, at time of possession, I don't have the numbers, but I think it's around 23, 25 to 35 to 37 minutes or so. So there's a huge gap, and you could tell at the end. I mean, we kept it close for a long time, but with the fourth quarter, you could see we couldn't contain Russell Wilson anymore. And then the game got out of hand, although the score was still pretty close.
Yeah, man, it seemed like we had Russell Wilson locked down the entire game except that second to last drive, man. It was kind of disheartening, you know, but let me just start here. All right? This game should have been a blowout. A lot of people, even the experts, including Vegas, had us losing this game by 2 touchdowns, okay? 2 touchdowns. We lost by 3. All right? That's number 1. Number 2, this defense is real. If you take anything away from this, know that this defense is legit. Russell Wilson plays against this defense every single week. This should have been a week of I don't know, man. They should have been prepared for it on both sides of the ball, our team as well. But I would have expected Russell Wilson to probably be a little bit more comfortable and do a little bit more. You look at the very beginning of the game. First 2 possessions that they had, they ended with field goals. After that, we pretty much held them scoreless for the remainder of the game until that very last touchdown in the fourth quarter. So we held them scoreless for almost 3 full quarters. All right? That's something that you got to hang your hat on, man. You can't actually sit here and beat down this team and sit here and say, you know, oh, the defense still needs work and Eric Reed injury prone and all that. Listen, they are taking guys in, they're taking guys out, they're plugging and playing these guys, and people are still producing, man. I absolutely love it. I want to get your thoughts on something, though. If you would have had to say the one reason we lost this game, what would it be?
Without a question, the passing game. I mean, we had 27 attempts by Brian Hoyer. That's not including the sacks, I think. So we had about 30 passing attempts and got a measly 99 yards. That's barely ahead of 3 yards per attempt. And that's just, I mean, that's okay if you get 4 yards per attempt. The problem is you can't throw interceptions, and we had one, and that might have killed us. We had a few throws that were behind the receiver or off target. Then we had some untimely drops. I mean, there was not much that was going for us in the passing game, but I must say I was really surprised. I'm not surprised because I really like Carlos Hyde and know what he can do, but he got off to a really good start and hit over 100 yards rushing, and I think that's something positive to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think without a doubt we lost this game because of our quarterback. I'm not going to blame it on the offensive line. I'm not going to blame it on the entire offense. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, my God, Goodwin dropped another pass. Listen, no wide receiver catches every single pass thrown to him. Okay. Yeah, Goodwin dropped the pass, and it was a pass that would have kept the chains moving. Okay. But there were other things that happened in this game that cost us the game. Again, we lost by 3. Brian Hoyer throws an interception to a linebacker again, the same exact way he did to Luke Kuechly, and that took us away from field goals. He took points off the board. That's a 6-point swing in Seattle's favor right there. It's instead of us getting 3, we ended up with nothing. Like you can't do that, man. You absolutely can't do that. I'm looking at some of the comments over here. Our offense is sad as fuck. That's from Carl Barcombe. Listen, our offense is sad. Carlos Hyde seems to be the real deal, though. And I think a lot of people are going to slowly open their eyes to that. When this guy is healthy, he's a monster, okay? And shout out to Kyle Shanahan for exploiting the weaknesses. Those 2 big runs from Carlos Hyde both happened when Sheldon Richardson was out of the lineup. All right, it was a weakness that he exploited immediately. Okay, so I saw some weird stat, and I don't have it in front of me, but I saw some weird stat that showed how many rushing yards the Niners had with Sheldon Richardson in versus when he was out. And again, 2 of those were really big chunk plays by Carlos Hyde. But it goes to show that Kyle Shanahan is paying attention to what's going on both sides of the ball, and he can exploit it. That being said, play calling was horrible. Absolutely horrible. It was atrocious, man. And I'm talking about down the stretch with the game on the line. I wanted to see something more creative. I wanted to see him pushing the ball down the field, and we just completely folded. We completely folded. I want to ask you this about the play calling, though. Last week, we went for it on 4th down 4 times. This week, we didn't do it at all. At any point in this game, did you feel like we should have at least attempted one of them or no?
I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I think we had a 4th and 1 and kicked a field goal. Is that right? Yes, you're nodding. So I think that might have been the one situation where I would have gone for it, because we had a pretty good momentum on that drive, and I think we could have got that 1st down and kept the chains moving, maybe even score a touchdown. However, overall, I'm pretty content with our play calling. There were a few calls I would have got, or I would have liked to see something else. But overall, I'm pretty content with it, and I think Shannon still does a good job focusing on that, despite having other head coaching duties.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, joined now by Mr. Hashtag No. He is in here, the man himself, the myth, the legend, Ali. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
I don't know how to feel, man.
Come on, man.
I don't know how to feel, man. I'm so devastated. This was our game. I will tell you something. Like, I look forward to this week in Seattle. But don't mind me if I get choked up. But I look forward to this week in Seattle all year, man. I wait for this fucking game all year. And because I live in Seahawks country, I get shit from so many people in this fucking city and shit. And I wanted this game so bad. This is the one game I wanted really bad. And I feel like we could have had it. And this one hurts. I know, but there's so many positives to take away from this game. I know we're coming. This game was our reemergence into man. This was our game that brought us back into like that. We're going to be an elite, a good team. Like the defense was stellar. The defense was stellar. Offense was dry. Had no deep shots. Had no other than Hyde and a little bit of flash with Breda. It was a tough go of it for the offense. But there's so many positives to take away from this game. Like we looked good. I did not expect us to look like this. It's been a while since we went toe to toe with them. I'm sorry, man. I'm emotional right now. This one hurt bad. Like I know we're not expected to win this game, but I got built up and I got held up but
All right, so your reception is breaking up a lot. I'm not sure if you're still there. Your reception is breaking up a lot, but I mean, I feel you, man. Listen, this was a close game. It was good to be in Seattle and be competitive. And let me tell you guys something. If we had a half a quarterback right now, we would have won this game. Just a little bit of a quarterback, someone who can control the ball, not be afraid. We would have absolutely won this game, man. I know you can sit here and say ifs and buts and all that kind of stuff, but listen, man, this game was ours for the taking. We were right there, man. A couple of first down conversions, and it's a completely different outcome. We have some questions here. Any news on the Eric Reed injury? All I know is that Kyle Shanahan said when he first returned to the game, it wasn't that serious. When he went back out, it was a little more serious after that. We don't have a definitive answer for that just yet. I'm not sure. I don't think it's an ankle sprain. It looked like something more with the knee than it was an ankle sprain. Another thing here from 4-9 Bloodline. What's going on, man? He says, win 0, but moral victories 2. Let me tell you guys something. And I'm going to throw this back to Stefan after this. We played against 2 really good defenses week 1 and week 2. All right, you can say what you want, but the Panthers haven't allowed a touchdown in 2 full games. Okay, that's a fact. All right, we went up against 2 really good defenses, so you can't sit here and say this offense is going to be this bad all the time. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe Brian Hoyer is as bad as what he looks like right now. But for what we do know, the Panthers defense is legit. We already know what Seattle's defense is, especially when they're at home. It's even more magnified. And so you have to give them a little bit of credit for at least hanging in there with Seattle inside CenturyLink Stadium. Stefan, what you got for me?
Yeah, first, back to what you were saying just now. This was Brian Hoyer's first game in Seattle, I think. So I wouldn't completely count out that he had some jitters and was a bit nervous. Not really making excuses here, but I think we could expect a bit more, especially because we had 2 tough defenses to face in the first 2 games. Might not be that pretty next game against the Rams, I think, on a Thursday game, of course. And another tough defense, especially with Wade Phillips as the coordinator. But I think we should see some improvement, at least over the season. And one thing I wanted to add to the Eric Reed injury, it was nothing definitive, as you said, but the Pro Football Doc, how is he called? David Shaw, I think. He was a team doc for the Chargers, I believe, for over a decade, and he said via video, it appears to be something affecting the meniscus of Eric Reed. We'll know more tomorrow or the day after that.
Okay, yeah. Good report on Reed there. Listen, guys, people are going in the chat room right now, and the conversation seems to be Brian Hoyer or Goodwin. And I already said that I think that the reason we lost this game is because of Brian Hoyer. But I want to ask you guys about our head coach. All right, I'm going to toss this to Ali. The Bengals went 2 full games without getting an offensive touchdown. They fired their offensive coordinator. The 49ers' offensive coordinator is their head coach, so he's definitely not firing himself. What do we do? Ali, give it to me, man. What are we doing now?
We don't do anything. In my opinion, I think that we should just stay on the path, like you said, we faced 2 like top 10 defenses. Turn around. I'm not the biggest fan of Hoyer, obviously, after these 2 performances, but I'm willing to give him a shot against a round. It's still also very good, but it's at home and it's not as good as the Panthers and Seahawks. Thursday can't come soon enough. Honestly, I'm really interested to see what adjustments we make off a short week. The Rams are coming off a loss. They have shown the ability to put up points. It's not the same Goff this year. He's shown a little bit of improvement. Gurley's look better. So I don't think, in regards to your question, I don't think we should make any adjustments in terms of our play calling or just no adjustments in that thing. I want to see Hoyer give him. I said maybe like 3 or 4 weeks in a video that I want to see Hoyer for the first 4 games, and I still want to give him 4 games. So give me 4 games with Hoyer, see what he can do, and then I'll be willing to look at the possibility of making a switch there.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that we got to hold off on the getting Hoyer up out of here just yet. I don't think Hoyer is the answer, and I am honestly over it. But I don't think there's a better option at the moment. A lot of people are saying, well, what about C.J. Beathard? This team isn't going anywhere. Let's put him in there. I don't know, Stefan, do you think C.J. Beathard could do any better on this team? Especially, I mean, look, man, we got a short week coming up. Beathard can't get this start on Thursday, right?
No. I don't think CJ Beathard at the moment at least offers anything better than Brian Hoyer, as painful as that may sound to some. He's a rookie. We have to count that in. He's a third round pick technically, but he was viewed as a 4th or 5th round prospect. So I don't know. There's just things you can't get or you can't learn within 1 season. I mean, he's all right under pressure. He delivers the ball, but he needs to learn to read defenses better. He has several things: pocket presence and accuracy, and several things he has to improve on before he really has a shot at competing in the NFL. And I think we should get Hoyer at least half a season. And that's me saying it as the least Brian Hoyer fan you can find here. I don't know. If Hoyer doesn't get injured, I wouldn't put CJ Beathard in. Not until week 8 or 10 now. So it doesn't make any sense.
All right, yeah. Sorry, I'm right there with you, man. I think we got to give him a little bit more time, for better or worse. I completely agree with what you're saying. Now, the thing is, people are like, I want winners, I want wins. We weren't expected to win this game. Nobody. I don't know a single 49ers fan that actually expected us to go in here and win this game. So you have to look at it as in, if we weren't going to win, what's the best way to lose? It's to be damn close. By the way, 2 interceptions Rashard Robinson should have had this game. One was tipped by Kwan Williams, who, by the way, played his ass off tonight. And the other one, he just dropped it. So I want to toss the ball to my guy right here, man, Mr. Zach Attack in the building. What's going on? Let me know your thoughts on this game, man. Give us some feedback. What were you thinking? Pros, cons, all around gambit for it. What you got?
How you doing, man? It was rough. I mean, it was a nail biter. We were in the game with a lot closer than I thought we would be, especially really late in the game. The entire game, I don't think it went more than a 1-score game for us. So they played well. I got to admit, they played a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be an absolute bloodbath. I thought it was going to be similar to the last few times that we went out to Seattle, but couldn't capitalize on the opportunities that they were given, and that's what it comes down to. The defense went out there. They played well. They played their asses off, but you can't ask the defense to save you 100% of the time. The defense is a bend, don't break, but constantly be bending and not, have some consequences there. So they made the defense, they gave them too much responsibility. They made them pretty much responsible for the entire game. The offense was not able to the bargain their half. So yeah, I think it's as simple as that. I think if offense is able to capitalize on some of the opportunities they're given, touchdown, they win the game. So an offensive system that doesn't seem to be clicking, even though we went out and hired the best offensive mind in all of football, as many have called Kyle Shanahan. The offensive system, for some reason, in San Francisco does not seem to be working. So a couple more weeks for them to mesh and finally come together, but offense is not doing well in San Francisco.
Yeah, the offense is going to be the story, man. And, we're going to run out of excuses for Brian Hoyer pretty soon. The PFF numbers are starting to roll in. We're seeing here, it says Hoyer was under pressure on just 5 throws. Now, listen, I know that the 49ers offensive line was vastly improved based off of what we saw last week. But it seemed like he was under pressure more than that. I could be wrong, and PFF's numbers are not final. They do change throughout the course of the week, so I'm not quite sure. But we have to see what the final numbers come out to be. I do know that the offensive line will look way better. Carlos Hyde looked way better. Matt Breida looked like a monster, man. I'm kind of wishing that he got the ball a little bit more. But it is what it is, man. So I want to get some overall thoughts from everybody. Some closing thoughts. Let's toss it back to Wally. You look crystal clear now, man. What's going on? Maybe you're not going to break up this time. Give us some overall thoughts, man. People are saying, I don't know if I can take Brian Hoyer 6 more weeks. I don't know if I can give him half the year, but maybe to the bye week. Give me your thoughts on that. And if he doesn't improve, I mean, this passer rating of 48 ain't going to cut it. So what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't know. I feel it wasn't in the cards for us to win today. Like the gods didn't want it or something. The football gods. Robinson drops 2 picks. All the non-calls. All of a sudden in the fourth quarter, Wilson started running and we couldn't contain him. It's the Goodwin drop pass. So many missed opportunities. That drive in the fourth quarter. I got too hype on that drive. The way we were methodically just working them, just running the ball. Hyde, Breida. I think we hit Garcon too, and then we just couldn't execute down on the thing. The non-call on Sherman where he just hugged Garcon. This game was just it was so close for us to win. But it just like something just didn't, just like the cards didn't fall our way. Like it just wasn't meant to be. I don't know if we have to just to get some of these calls. I don't know what we have to do. I don't know if we have to just work through them or we have to be good again or something. Like it seems like Seattle gets all those calls. To wrap up, I'm just looking. My final thoughts. I'm just looking forward to Thursday. This one's a tough pill to swallow. I probably am not going to sleep tonight. A lot of tossing and turning. This one like really hurts, like I said, and I would have loved to seen Foster out there against this fucking team. I swear, man, Foster out there, savage. Might have been a different story, but I'm on to Thursday. I'm on to the Los Angeles Rams. Those pieces of shit up there. And let's get a fucking win. Let's go 1-2, and then the schedule opens up beautifully for us after if we can get a win against the Rams on Thursday. The Cardinals look like shit. The Colts look like shit. The Redskins don't look great. The Eagles, that's a toss-up, and then we got the Cowboys. So a lot of positives to take away from this game. This one hurts, but I'm going to throw it over to Zach for his overall thoughts. That's all I got to say.
All right. So before we get into Zach, man, so someone asked a question. Adam Henderson. Herendine, I'm sorry. I thought I said Henderson. He said, where was the spy on Russell Wilson? They had to know that this guy, 1, was healthy, and 2, was going to run when crunch time happened. Why wasn't there a spy on him, man? Why wasn't there a spy? So we're going to toss it back to Stefan, I'm sorry. We're going to toss it back to Stefan. We're going to let you go ahead and wrap up your segment. Tell me why we didn't spy on him. Look around the league also and tell me how you think we're going to do throughout the rest of the games. We've got a feel for what this 49ers defense is going to be now, man. The defenses that are coming up, I think we got the hard ones out of the way. So maybe the tide will turn like Ali was hinting at here. Give me your feel for the next couple of games that are coming up. Where was the spy on Russell Wilson? And closing thoughts from you. Go ahead, Stefan. Take it away, man.
Yeah, so the spy on Russell Wilson. Until the second half, I mean, end of third quarter, start of the fourth, we didn't really have that Russell Wilson running threat, right? I mean, our defensive line got pressure on him. He was constantly resetting in the pocket or had to flee it. And usually we stopped him pretty well. It was right at the end of the game when our defense was gassed and really couldn't stop anyone. If you look at Chris Carson, he ran for 10 yards basically every running play. So they couldn't even stop Russell Wilson. And then we should have implemented the spy. But I don't think that in-game adjustment happened. And before that, it wasn't really that necessary. Yeah, my closing thoughts. So this game is basically everything we could have wished for this season, right? We had a competitive game. We hung in there with arguably the top NFC team on the road, especially. We lost by 3 points. Our defense looked really good, especially against the run. Pass defense needs some improvement. Our O-line looked improved. Running game was okay. It was basically the passing game that was missing for really to compete. And this is, I mean, we hung in there, we lost. So what? I mean, there are going to be other opportunities. There are weaker teams we can beat. For example, the Indianapolis Colts are really looking good right now, as Ali said, or the Cardinals are in a little bit of a crisis. Yeah, so I think we should see some wins maybe. My prediction of 4 wins this season still stands. I'm not that optimistic. I think we're going to see a lot of competitive games we at the end lose. But I'm fine with it. It's year 1 of the rebuild. There's no rush, really, and yeah, we'll be fine.
I like it, man. I like it a lot, and I'm going to give it to Zach. But listen, man, there's a lot to look forward to with this team, man. Ward stepped in and filled in beautifully. He looked really, really good. The pass rush was there today. They woke the hell up. Now, again, this is one of the worst offensive lines in the league, so you kind of expected that. But, man, oh, man, PFF is reporting that Buckner by himself had 9 quarterback pressures this game. And they're somehow saying that the Seahawks only pressured Hoyer 5 times. I don't know how much of this PFF stuff to buy into, but there were definitely positives to take away from this game. A lot of negatives, and the biggest one being that we lost. But, damn it, man, if you told me that we would have held Seattle to 12 points, I would have said we got a chance. And we were right there with it, man. The Seahawks, their time might be up, guys. Their time might be up. I think they took advantage of an offense that is still learning to play against real opponents. The tide is going to change. This defense came to play. Zach, I'm going to give it to you, man. Give us a summary and let me know what you think the look is going to be. We got 2 games coming up against division opponents. We got the Rams on Thursday, and we get the 10 days off, and we play against the Cardinals. Let me know what you think we can do. Can we turn this thing around and be 2-2 following that game against the Cardinals? What do you think?
So before I touch on the next 2 games, I'm just gonna point out some interesting stats from this game. I don't know if you guys touched on this earlier, but the Niners went 2 for 12 on 3rd downs this game, while the Seahawks went 8 for 19. They had both. Let's see. The 49ers had 48 yards or 48 total plays compared to the Seahawks 79 plays. That's almost double. Total yards, that's not bad, but when you consider Hyde had over 100 by himself, You don't like one player have 50% at least of your total yardage. 89 passing yards. That's horrible. That's insane. That's horrible. There's no other way to put that. I'm a Hoyer fan, as big a Hoyer fan as anybody is. I can't find an excuse for 89 passing yards. The opportunities were there. The passes were there. The windows were there. They didn't capitalize. 159 rushing yards. Now to the good stats. I can't tell you how many times last week I heard Zane Beadle's name mentioned. I don't think I heard Laken Tomlinson mentioned. So that's huge. That's huge. It's like a long snapper. If you don't want to hear him, great. Don't talk about it. So I think the 49ers did great. They improved their offensive line, at least when it comes to the running game. I'd say Seattle's front seven is as tough as anyone's, and they were able to get 160 yards rushing. I'd say look for that to continue next week against the Rams. Now, on to the next two games. I'd say they have a solid chance of evening out to 2-2 when it comes to by week 4. I'd say Thursday night's probably going to be the 50-50 game, and it depends on if they can minimize their mistakes and really minimize their mistakes this time and also capitalize on opportunities. I think they should be able to pull that one off, and I think the 10 days rest and preparation is going to be huge for them. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to get this football team in order, and I think by the time week 4 comes to an end, you'll be seeing a 49ers team at 500.
I like it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. You were running down some very interesting stats. One is that the third down stats are extremely concerning, man. Last week we were 2 for 11. This week we were 2 for 12. So it's just not enough. We have to get better. I think Kyle Shanahan knows that. But here's what I'm going to leave you guys with, and I'm going to leave you guys with these closing thoughts, right? The offense is struggling right now. The defense looks good. The defense is legit, and the defense would be better if the offense would give them a breather, give them a reason to fight, encourage these guys, okay? Right now, the defense feels like they have to do it all, and they are doing it all. The defense is the only reason we're in these games, okay, especially today. But listen to me. Trust me and believe me when I tell you this. Kyle Shanahan is the brightest offensive mind in the NFL right now. He will figure it out, and when he does, watch out, NFL. The 49ers are coming for that ass, man. I'm telling you guys, there is a lot of upside here. It might not be this year, but it's coming. I guarantee you it's coming, man. This defense is legit. It's young, and we don't even have our best players out on the field at the same time. Okay? There is a lot to look forward to, guys. The third downs and all that shit's going to come. Don't worry about it. The points, the touchdowns, we're going to get a real quarterback next year. I don't care if it's Kirk Cousins. I don't care if it's someone in the draft. I don't care if Beathard has to fill in the meantime. We're going to be back, and we're going to be more than competitive next year. The Cardinals, their time is up. Carson Palmer's a bum, okay? They can't do shit over there, all right? The Seahawks, they've shown already. They're vulnerable. Their time is done. They scored 1 touchdown all season and it was against us. Come on now. Come on now. And the Rams, I'm still not buying it. The Rams are just as vulnerable. Everyone got all hyped because they beat up on the Colts. Yeah, the Colts just lost to the bum-ass Cardinals too. I'm not buying it, man. And as far as my prediction for the next, I'll give you guys this. I think we're going to win the next 3 games in a row, okay? Now, let me get off my high horse. Yeah, because right after that, we got the Rams, we got the Cardinals, and we go into the Colts. I got the 49ers 3-2 riding the backs of this defense, and all of a sudden, we're not playing these tough-ass defenses anymore. All of a sudden, our offense can start to get a little bit of rhythm. Watch out. Watch out. I'm not saying that we're going to have a winning season at the end of this all, but I am saying that the 49ers are coming for that ass. NFL, you've been warned. And on that note, we're out of here. Faithful, we out.